this is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Wednesday, May 22nd. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This you can watch all my MLB, NBA, and NFL videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, hey, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including the complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel, and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for our DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jay? How you doing out there, bro?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm good. How you doing?
They're doing pretty good. Continuing to have some pretty good success with MLB. Ready to keep it rolling tonight. Got a solid slate, some solid spots that I feel that we've identified that we can kind of target early in the day. So, I mean, I'm ready to talk some baseball.
For sure.
Real quick, before we jump in this video, two things. First thing first, if you don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And second thing, man, hey, this is we got a 14-day free trial. You got 2 weeks to try us out. Make sure that our product is right for you. You have absolutely nothing to miss out. So, hey, check it out. dfscheatsheet.com. Get that free trial and start winning with the money team, man. So, hey, I'm ready to jump into this, talk some bats. You could round us off with some pitchers. As always, this is more of a just overview, kind of get you a general idea of what we're targeting early in the day. If you want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, we got about 5 or 6 different other content pieces up for MLB every single day. So check it out. And yeah, man, let's jump into it. So the first team that I think is going to probably be the chalky team, and they should be the chalky team for a good reason. You got the Yankees. They get a matchup in Baltimore. We've been talking about how good of a hitter's park Baltimore has been to start this season out. The Yankees get a matchup against Dan Straley, who gives up a 39% hard contact rate, 295 ISO to lefties, 338 ISO to righties. Yankees as a team, they have an ISO of 190. Man, I like both sides of the plate right here for the Yankees, and I definitely think that you can really look at basically almost every single guy in this lineup. If you're looking for power upside, I mean, you kind of probably want to stick to Voit, Gary Sanchez. Aaron Hicks has some pop. You can look at Torres. And then Clint Frazier had a monster game yesterday. He had double dongs yesterday, correct?
He did.
Yeah, so hey, I definitely think that you can look at all those guys, but like I said, you can also look at the back end guys and a Gardner, a Maben. You can do the 8-9-1-2 stack, rounding back up with DJ and Voit. Yankees top stack on the day, and I definitely think you want to get some exposure to the Yankees. They have us over a 6 implied run total on today's slate. The next team I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go right back to the Houston Astros. They have a 6 implied total as well. They get a matchup today against Ivan Nova, who gives up a 35% hard contact rate, 218 ISO to lefties, 220 ISO to righties. Houston as a team, they have a really high team ISO of 222. They've really been tearing the cover off the ball. I mean, Houston is just like the Yankees. I mean, they're easily the top 2 teams on the slate, both over a 6 implied total. I mean, you got to really look at pretty much every single guy in this lineup. Some guys that are really, with Nova, there's not really he's not really better against one side of the plate. It's pretty even. I mean, so for me, I mean, you really look at 1 through 6. As cash game plays, if you want to go, a little bit lower in the lineup, probably a little bit more GPP. You can, do a bottom to the top end stack, just like I mentioned with the Yankees. But yeah, man, I definitely like the Astros. If the main guys you want to target, Springer, Brantley, Bregman, Correa, those are their obvious guys. Reddick, I'm liking Reddick. He's been, higher in that lineup, and Reddick is a guy who when he makes contact, man, he hits the ball hard. So yeah, I like Houston a lot. Yankees, Houston, for me, by far the top stacks. Next team, I think they're like my third team, like solidified third team. You got to go with the Minnesota Twins. They get a matchup against Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey's just a gas can. I mean, there's not really nothing else to say about it. Gives up a 41% hard contact rate, 273 ISO to lefties, 130 ISO to righties. So I think you want to target him a little bit more with lefties. The Twins as a team, they have a 240 team ISO, which is incredible for a team. But I mean, even though you do probably want to target Harvard a little bit more with the lefties, I think that you can look at everybody outside of Adrianza and Marwin Gonzalez. Everybody else in this lineup has a over 200 ISO. So I mean, they're hitting the ball hard when they're making contact. A couple guys really standing out to me. You can look at Kepler, Polanco, Scope, Rosario. Those are probably their top hitting lefties right there. You got Scope is a switch hitter. Polanco's a switch hitter also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I like 1 through 4 in the Twins lineup. Those are my main targets, but you could definitely look at some other guys a little bit down the lineup. Next, we're going to move on. I'm not saying it because they're my team, but I'm really, really liking the Dodgers today. This is something that you were talking to me about. Let me kind of get into the numbers, and if you want to round back, that would be awesome. So Dodgers, they get a matchup today against Chirinos, who gives up a 145 ISO to lefties, 155 ISO to righties. The guy has a very, very low K percentage. Just one thing that I wanted to throw out there. Dodgers as a team, they have a 212 team ISO. So yeah, man, I'm liking the lefties for the Dodgers. Jock Peterson, 435 ISO. Bellinger, 404 ISO against righties. Seager, 206 ISO. Verdugo, 195. Muncy, 172. I'm looking at the Dodgers lefties. I think they can have a really, really good day today. Do you want to dig a little bit deeper into that just because, Rays usually have like the opener, etc.?
Yeah, so the Dodgers have smashed right-handed pitching all year long. That's who they've smashed. It hasn't mattered. And the knock on the Dodgers has been their inability to hit left-handed pitching, right? I mean, for how long? You've been a Dodger fan for the last 3 years. They've made trade moves to try to get better against lefties. It's been their knock. I mean, they brought in all these guys like Dozier and Forsythe, and I mean, Kike Hernandez's whole kind of rise to the being a almost an everyday player has been because he killed left-handed pitching, right? So,
right.
Jalen Beeks is normally the guy that comes in. He came in yesterday and gave up 5 runs against his Dodger lineup. The Dodgers as a whole against righties are absolutely murdering righties. So, it's not even the lefties that are doing it. Austin Barnes with almost a 200 ISO. You got, Russell Martin, if he's in there today, almost a 200 ISO against right-handed pitching. I feel like I'm missing somebody too. Oh, Kike Hernandez. Yeah. So he's got like a 176 ISO against right-handed pitching. So
he's getting a lot better against righties.
It doesn't matter. It's just their approach as a whole. They're a lot more disciplined. They don't chase pitches out of the zone. They are not afraid to take a walk. You look at some of these guys last year when you watch the Dodgers and Bellinger, a lot of his struggles were chasing pitches out of the zone. He's been very stubborn and just taking a lot of walks this year and only swung at pitches in the zone. And you look, he's got over a 400 batting average on the season against everybody. He's hitting well over 400 against right-handed pitching, and he's got over a 400 ISO against right-handed pitching. So you're going to pay for the price tag. Jock Peterson obviously is a little cheaper. And the guy that I think that the scary thing about this to me with the Dodgers is Max Muncy, who hit, I think, what he hit 40 home runs last year?
Yeah.
38 home runs, something like that.
Not going yet.
He hasn't. I mean, he's got some of the worst numbers. I mean, they're not terrible. He's like in the 150s as far as ISO goes against right-handed pitching. And I mean, this guy, huge power numbers. Justin Turner hasn't got going yet, right? So, they're really living off Peterson and Bellinger and Verdugo. Those guys have kind of carried him. Muncy's chipped in here and there. Turner's chipped in here and there. Corey Seager's chipped in here and there. But if you're going to get Cody Bellinger, who's going to play at this high of a level, which he showed his rookie year for the rest of the season, and these other guys aren't hot yet, this is very scary for the rest of the Major League Baseball.
For sure. He's a good hitter. He's going to get going, definitely. I'm with you. I really like the Dodgers today. So just to finish it off, bats, one more final team. I think this is team. They're a little bit more a wild card team. They've been kind of a wild card team all year for me because they have the bats, they have the players. They're just, we were talking about a little bit ago. We feel they just have the kind of the World Series hangover. But you got to look at Boston. They pretty much got the same team. They get a matchup today against Aaron Sanchez, who gives up a 150 ISO to lefties, 120 ISO to righties. He has a very, very low K percentage, so the balls are getting put in play. Boston as a team, they have a 161 team ISO. The guys
and they have 3 guys over 200. That's it.
So there's three guys really that I'm looking at to stack, and you could kind of trade the fourth guy in. You could throw a Betts in, you could throw a Bogarts, throw a JD Martinez. But the main three guys for Boston, I'm liking. You look at Mitch Moreland, 390 ISO against righties. Betts 240 ISO against righties, and Chavis 213 ISO. So I like those three guys. And then, like I said, you could throw in a Benintendi as a with that stack. You could throw in a JD Martinez, throw in a Bogarts. But I think that Boston's kind of the wild card team. They're going to get going eventually. They're just too good of a team. So I like this spot. It's kind of, they're probably a little bit more GPP plays, but I think they are in play. So just to kind of round it off where I was at, I think the Yankees and Houston, by far the top two teams on the slate. Then you're looking at the Twins. They're easily number 3. The Dodgers, they're in a great spot. And then you can look at Boston as the team that may be low owned that does have a little bit of upside. That's really where I'm at for bats. I mean, what you got for us pitching wise?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good slate. You got Garrett Cole against the White Sox. You got Scherzer facing the Mets again. DeGrom, he'll face the Nationals for the second time. Martin Perez, a guy that we've broken down numerous times. I mean, this guy, he drops the slider, he adds a cutter, he increases the velocity on his four-seam fastball by almost 3 miles per hour. This guy, he's completely reinvented himself. You got Max Fried, going against the Giants. He gets a bump because of ballpark, cold, dense air. It's very cold in Chicago. You could definitely look at Cole Hamels and Cole Irvin, both of them. Not a lot of runs have been yielded in Chicago as of late because of it's just cold, dense air. Rich Hill's very interesting, coming off a really good start against Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So there's some very interesting pitching options tonight. There's a lot of different ways you could go. I think a lot of these guys are in play. That's kind of, I mean, John Gray. There's a huge difference also in some of these guys and their prices on FanDuel and DraftKings. I think John Gray is 10,200 on DraftKings, and he's 7.9 on. I could be wrong. Let me pull that up really quick. But there's some of these guys that have a really big difference in price. John Gray is 9.2, so he's 9 on DK. He's 7.9 on FanDuel. You always look for discrepancies like that between the two sites from a pricing standpoint. Rich Hill, another guy, 10.2 on DK, 8.3 on FanDuel. Game 2 of a doubleheader. We've talked about that many times this year already because we've had such bad weather. But game 2 of a doubleheader with St. Louis and Kansas City. Yadi Molina not in the lineup. Jose Martinez not in the lineup in the early game. Expect them to be in the – that's just because they're going to play a doubleheader today. Expect them to be in the second game. And then pay attention to see what happens with that early game to see how much bullpen gets used. Could be a situation where you want to go to, you want to stack up St. Louis and Kansas City because they ate up a bunch of relievers in the first game, and they're going to be, pretty stressed as a pitching staff in the second game tonight. So, obviously you mentioned Matt Harvey going in this one. Matt Harvey, an absolute gas can. Minnesota is one of the most underrated teams. I keep saying it every single day we do this video. From a team ISO standpoint, they're absolutely killing the baseball. I think Aaron Sanchez is the guy that's very interesting on the slate. I don't think he's rosterable because I just don't think the strikeout upside is there. But, man, his ground ball percentage against righties and lefties is pretty high. I don't have the numbers right for him, but I want to say he's above 40% to both sides of the plate. And Boston just struggles, man. And you look at one of the things for me that I look at every single day is the last thing I do is look at implied run totals after I've done all my research. And then I really want to see where I think the biggest discrepancy is, where I think Vegas is wrong. Boston could be that spot today. I thought Seattle was that spot yesterday. Really, we were right on with that. Lance Lynn goes out, throws up a quality start. Seattle didn't really do much. I think there's a couple of those spots tonight, to be honest with you. I think Cole Irvin's very interesting at 8.1 against the Cubs in cold weather. I don't know what the Cubs' implied run total is right now, but Rick Porcello will be the third guy that I think is very interesting against Toronto. Rick Porcello, we know, can pitch. He's got some quality starts under his belt this year. Rick Porcello is 3-4 with 4 quality starts. The Toronto Blue Jays is a team, one of the worst teams in baseball from a K% standpoint, one of the worst teams in baseball from an ISO standpoint. We've seen many pitchers go out there against the Blue Jays who haven't fared well against other teams and have really nice games against the Toronto Blue Jays. I think because of what the Blue Jays did yesterday by putting up a bunch of runs against Eduardo Rodriguez. Here's the thing, okay? Who had the monster game for Toronto yesterday? Do you know?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
So
I didn't have much Toronto exposure.
So one of the guys that had, and I've been talking about this on the deep dive. So I'm just going to give you one last little thing here, and then we can get out of here. Yesterday, Tellez goes 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. So they scored 10 runs, and Tellez has 5 RBIs, including a home run. He's a left-handed bat. So Justin Smoke, he'll bat right-handed. Guerrero bats right-handed. All these other guys bat right-handed. But the one left-handed bat they put in there was Tellez, right? And he's the guy who he hits a bomb. I think he doubled, 5 RBIs. Eduardo Rodriguez has an ISO of over 370 against left-handed bats. So that was no surprise that a left-hander beat them up yesterday, right? So you take a look at this on the flip side of it, and you look at Aaron Sanchez, who doesn't give up very high rates to either side of the plate from an ISO standpoint. I think this is a very interesting matchup with Porcello and Sanchez, and I also think Cole Irvin very interesting as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, man, that's kind of where we're at. A little general overview of today's main slate. If you want a more in-depth analysis, make sure to check out the site. Get your 14-day free trial. Outside of that, hey, man, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, and peace out.